Many people were saying this had to happen, and quite frankly, I'm amazed it's taken this long. But behind the scenes, things are now crumbling apart for the former royal, known, of course, as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, one-time cable TV actress, and her power is slipping, and it's all thanks to a British rival. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums, nice to see you. Thank you as ever for supporting me on my channel. Thank you also for being a chum. We'll have a lovely wave, and welcome all brand new subscribers. It is nice to see you today. Hope you're keeping well, whatever you're doing, and I'm glad as ever that you've enjoyed so many of the videos. Many people were telling me about, their thoughts about what happened with President Trump and our current British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Sir Keir Starmer. Embarrassing, yes, but you can understand this is egos on display, isn't it? People think they are going to be asked to speak because they're that important, even though allegedly they've done nothing to the particular peace process. But that is egos, and this is the same thing that happens in all the world now of politics and celebrities. It's very hard to define the two. Do you know what I'm saying? Very hard, really, when you work in both fields to see exactly where these things go. You see, the problem that you've got, if you are, for instance, Meghan Markle, you were the big cheese 5 years ago when Netflix gave you millions of dollars to come up with a series of attacking your husband's family. And that really has been the only great success. Everything else has been a colossal flop. With love, Meghan, even she's now admitted on that particular interview that, well, she might do it differently. No, people are not interested. They don't need to hear from a very rich person who was nobody until she married rich how to wrap presents or how to make jam or how to cut a bread in half or whatever. We didn't see you make any of this stuff, so we don't believe you're invested in it. The difference, for instance, with Meghan and Victoria Beckham is Victoria Beckham decided many, many years ago to hang up the microphone, and she said she wasn't the best singer in the world, but she put a lot of effort in, dance training, went to stage school, did her best, enjoyed her moment in the spotlight, but her real passion was always fashion. Hence the reason she was called Posh Spice. Now, in the, sort of being clarity and transparency, I've known Victoria Beckham for many, many years. Lovely girl, very down to earth, as is David Beckham, just normal people. Mega rich, but normal, you know what I mean? Very sweet people. Meghan Markle doesn't come across as that particular individual. However, when you're both signed to the biggest streaming company in the world, you have a problem. Now, behind the scenes, I've been told that Meghan Markle is very slowly bubbling to bursting, because the bottom line is she feels that she wasn't given the same credence, the same sort of honours, whatever you want to call it, that, of course, Victoria Beckham was for her series. Now, they're kicking back, and in particular all the production team behind the scenes, and as Meghan herself says, there was 80 people making that particular show. There were nowhere near 80 people making Victoria Beckham's show. Go figure that. A lot of the time, this was one cameraman, 3 people at most, filming Victoria around and about, direct interviews in her office, in her studio, and at home. The same with David Beckham. Costs were low. She knew how to put this together. You don't need all of this expensive paraphernalia. It cost a lot of money for Netflix to get Meghan in front of the camera to tell you how to make these ridiculous recipes. And now, apparently, Meghan feels that they went all out to promote her rival. Again, I have to say, allegedly. The bottom line is it's always about money, figures and facts, you see. Now, Victoria Beckham's show is already profitable even before it was released. And this is because of the low costs. You can get that money back via the subscribers. So once your subscribers have covered the cost of the show, now you're turning into profit. Not one level of subscribership has covered the cost of, let's just even say, hiring their house for Meghan Markle's Netflix show. As we all know, Meghan sees Victoria Beckham as an arch rival and now suddenly cosplaying her, dressing like her and trying to move a muscle into the world of fashion and beauty. Something, as I said, that Victoria has developed for a long time. But according to a source, an excellent source behind the scenes at Netflix, who's currently prepping and putting together the final jigsaw pieces of Meghan Markle's Christmas special, well, the bottom line is for her now is that really she has to say she's looking for other options to maybe have a better fit for any future ideas that she may have. The truth is that Netflix are exhausted by the circus, the merry-go-round, and the terrible negative reviews that her shows have got. Publicly, Ted Sarandos will say Meghan's remarkable. Behind the scenes, they are slowly moving away from this deal. And it isn't just the jam making and of course the TV shows. Behind the scenes, slowly, they're moving away from Meghan Markle. And what you saw with that Fortune interview was Meghan admitted it, all through gritted teeth, all down to one British successful designer, Victoria Beckham. Neil Sean in the very heart of the United Kingdom.